the
No,
monster?
this is the Monster Cafe that they were at.
What the fuck am I looking at?
違いも全てデーモンだと思う。いささいなく襲い始めた。
That was like a Tim and Eric joke.
War has begun. Is this fun, everybody? Humans are killing humans. This is us.
Oh no.
Alright, no, this needs to be the cold open.
Our time has come. Goodbye, everyone.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Unofficial Tokucast. My name is Cheesymanfredo, aka Alfredo Morales, and today again I'm back with the usual numbskulls. Say your names now.
I'm Kazoo and we watch Devilman.
It's me, King Protus, aka Jim. I have a JoJo podcast. Check it out. Jokakaka.
I am Sporktown Heroine. I draw funny pictures on the internet.
So yes, as Kazoo said, we watched Devilman.
Live action Devilman. 2004 live action Devilman, and oh boy,
I'm gonna say it right now.
I wonder why no one talks about this movie. Well, just found out why.
It sure is a piece of something.
It sure is a devil diarrhea piece of dog shit, if I do say so myself.
I rather have a buffalo take a diarrhea dump in my eyes rather than watch this movie.
It really is just like completely misguided. I would say almost every element of this movie is misguided and just baffling.
It's
awful. Oh my god! It just misses the whole fucking point of the fucking manga.
There's so many bizarre choices made in the movie. Because first, it's like the first 15 minutes feels like it speed runs like the majority of like the beginning, and you think like, oh, this is gonna be short, right? And then you see the runtime, it's like 2 hours. It's like, what the fuck are we gonna be doing for 2 hours?
The nutty part is like Devilman, like the manga, already is kind of fast paced in the beginning. Like we meet Akira, and then he just like, oh, Ryo shows up, and then he's like, my dad's dead. Come with me.
Yeah, like the speed at which the storytelling in the manga is like, it is fast, but it's like also good, and like the manga is very good. Like I have to say, I'm a big fan of the original Devilman manga. Big fan of Crybaby. I would say Crybaby is a much better adaptation.
I've never read them. I haven't read Crybaby, but I have seen Crybaby.
Crybaby's a fantastic adaptation.
Crybaby.
Yeah, I'm a veteran of both. I actually haven't seen the 80s OVA, but I'm a big fan of the Devilman manga. I've been pushing it on Cheesy for like a month or two.
I've been devilified recently thanks to Kazoo.
The OVAs are actually super sick.
They're really good.
Like, it's really funny because almost every version of Devilman that's been adapted has like a different tone. Like the OVAs go even darker than the manga does, and then like Crybaby goes for this really like, just, I mean, I don't know, it's hard to describe it. Like it's just Yuasa just going crazy. But
I would say Crybaby gets pretty dark too. I mean, I haven't seen the first OVA. I haven't seen the other OVAs.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
I think they only made 2. They only made like the first one where he gets the powers, and then the actually I forget what the second one is. I think it's the Celine arc.
Hey, we did watch the like one episode of the 70s Devilman show together. Remember that? Where they just start whipping each other for like the last like 10 minutes of the show.
So that was I think that's the one thing that we kind of all share in ignorance of, is the greater Devilman cartoon like canon.
Yeah.
But by cartoon I mean obviously like the long running anime series.
I don't think anyone here has watched or read Devilman Lady either. I've read Shin Devilman and shit.
I was thinking about reading it until somebody told me that it has some problematic content in it, so I might not.
Yeah.
From my point of view, Devilman is problematic.
Especially in this movie. Holy
Oh
shit.
my god, yeah. I wanna. Okay, I think this might be the part where we could go through plot beats.
Yeah.
Someone's got to do it for me because I am currently battling some demons that are called my roommates right now.
All right.
All right,
So we start
well,
out with like baby Akira and baby
Oh my
Rio.
god, I forgot. I literally
They're
forgot.
on the fucking beach. Baby Rio has like the shittiest fucking
Yeah,
wig of all
but
time.
it doesn't
It's
look like a wig. So
god-awful.
like Rio's hair is like white, right? But
Yeah.
it looks like
it looks like
hairspray.
he's
It looks
got
like
like
fucking
hairspray or
hairspray.
hair chalk or something that they just put in
Yeah.
to make his hair white, but it just makes it gray and silvery and patchy and really ugly looking.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Oh.
That should have been the red flag right there. That should have been like, oh boy, it's gonna be one of those movies.
Like it's clearly
It certainly
he has
was.
black hair, but like they tried to like put some sort of coloring in it.
Yeah. And then we just cut to like we cut to the school, I believe, and like Rio is just going fucking like ape shit. He's just violent as fuck for like no particular reason. In earlier adaptations, Rio isn't even shown in the story at this point, so it's very weird to see Rio just acting like a fucking complete hooligan.
So
Just
another
chop-
thing too, like as I said before, this adaptation is so misguided. Like the whole inclusion of Rio as just like a guy that's at school with Akira
Class
is just like I understand that adaptations don't need to follow the original thing like letter by letter. I think oftentimes
Yeah,
that
of
makes a
course.
poor adaptation, but the decisions that this one makes to veer away from the source material are like just so confusing, and they serve to just make the story more strange and muddied.
Yeah. it guys, this fucking movie is nearly 2 hours long, and like the first 15 minutes of the movie itself like skip over so much of the already fast-paced beginning of Devilman. Like it's
Frankly,
actually crazy. We don't
skipping
get
some of the
any
best scenes.
characterization. We don't get any characterization of like Akira as like a wimp,
Yep.
really. We don't get any characterization of Miki. We don't get the famous fucking Devilman memes where Rio is all like, "My father's dead." He puts on a PlayStation VR on Akira.
Okay, so
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
in order to like deliver the instead of just like telling Akira what's going on, to deliver the fucking like the synopsis of what just happened, he just gives Akira like a giant ass VR headset to watch while he's driving in the car. And it's just like
It's so
he's
fucking
just listening to like he sees like a little like VR like digitized version of his dad being like, yeah, we dug into the Earth's core to harness like the energy of the Earth's core, but it turned out there were demons in there instead. And it looked like a video game. I was like, is he just playing a video game? What is happening here? It's so strange.
Yeah.
Going back to the Akira characterization thing for 1 second, because this actually is like huge and it's fucked. Like Akira is supposed to be just bad. Like he's supposed to be like kind of bad, like a loser initially, and like
He's a total wimp.
the one scene that we get where he's like, because there's that famous scene in the manga and like the other adaptations where he's being bullied and like Rio comes to save him.
Right.
In this, what they do is they have another kid be bullied, and we see like the reason why he's bullied is because he's like a weirdo freak, whatever. And we learn that Akira like stood up for him after Rio attacked him. So we are establishing before Rio or Akira becomes Devilman, he's already heroic and like stands up against people. And like to me, that was just like, why? Like this is just not.
Wait. I think you explained that a little differently than how it happened. Because how I remembered
Wait.
was Akira's
Oh no, sorry, yeah.
Akira's
I
getting
did
beat
explain
up
it
by
poorly.
like 3 thugs in like the schoolyard. And then like they do like beat him up and like knock him down on the ground. But then there's another guy there who's drawing like a really sick drawing in his notebook, and he has wacky hair. And he's like,
He has fucking Rastafarian braids. Well, not actual
really,
Rasta
but-
braids, but he has Rastafarian colored braids.
Okay, he's like, yeah, you guys better not mess with Akira, because there once was a kid who messed with Akira, and then fucking Rio just waltzed into the classroom with a pair of shears, like gardening shears,
Well, that was him.
and cut off his fingers, and that kid was me, and he holds up his fingers, and they're like, whoa, and then they still mess with him
They
anyway.
still beat him up.
Yeah, and then in the flashback we also see like Akira is like, Rio, no, and then he grabs the kid's fingers and he like forcibly
Right.
shoves the fingers back on.
Right,
So
right,
I don't know.
right,
I just thought it was weird that like, because Rio is supposed to be like a kind-hearted boy, but we have him like standing up
Akira.
and like
Akira. It's the kind of-
whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry. We see the boy. He's just, I don't know. I thought it was strange that we're like focusing this now when we just speed run everything else. So like going forward, yeah, okay. He's in the car. He's getting the rundown. He's learning all the backstory, all the plot dump that demons are real in Antarctica. Rio's dad found them. They go back to Rio's house. In a scene where actually another scene we kind of gloss over, Rio says to Akira, that his father's dead, which is another scene from the manga, which is true. But when we get to the house, his father is a Devilman, and he's still alive. Or he's not a Devilman, but he's like been corrupted by a devil, but he's still alive, which is another weird thing. And
It's so weird.
just instantly, both of our characters transform into Devilmen,
yeah,
which
they
is
go
not something that
through-
happens
yeah.
in the manga.
It's like in any other Devilman adaptation, it's always about like bringing out the devil in such a pure-hearted boy and shit. It's all about riling Akira.
Yeah,
up.
and this one,
he just gets into the lab and then he gets hit by
a
like
giant
demon
devil
sperm.
cell. Because the
Oh, I forgot
the,
about
the
that.
Devilmen are transmitted, like in the original they're like invisible, and they're like that in Crybaby too. In this one they're just like giant sperm cells that fly around and get into your body.
Yeah.
It's really upsetting to me because that's one of my favorite parts about the series is like, and they kind of even like later on in the movie they forget about this devil sperm thing and
Yeah,
they
it
just
never
have
shows
people
up
turn into
again.
Devilmen. Because that's like the scariest part. It's like anyone can be a Devilman. Like you don't even know. You might have already have a devil inside you,
Right.
and it could be like about to come out at any moment. And so by doing this, we also skip one of the greatest scenes, which is the big like party rave scene where all of the
Right.
devils take over the people, which is one of my favorite scenes like ever in like anything.
It's great.
And also, so this is a spoiler, so I guess let's just say like there's going to be spoilers for Devilman, like the original manga and Crybaby. We see that Rio is just Lucifer here.
Yeah,
Satan.
they just play their hand like immediately for
He's
no
like
reason.
an angel. Whenever Akira turns into Devilman, he's just like an angel floating around.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
you
why?
get to see his. There's literally like no reason for it, like because he doesn't really like use it.
He literally
in,
never
like-
does. He literally never
Yeah.
fucking uses it until like the ending, which is just the ending of Devilman.
I think
Yeah, and
I was just gonna say about the lack of the club scene. I wonder if the reason that they didn't include it in this version is because nightclubs were like literally illegal in Japan at this time.
in 2004.
Yeah, for like a long time, like night clubs were like pretty much illegal because like they thought like people would like use them to take drugs and shit like that. And so like any sort of like dance club or anything like that was like heavily like not really a thing.
I don't know. I just think like maybe they would have had to pay too many extras.
That's
Yeah.
probably that's probably
It seems like it was kind of shoddily put together.
Yeah,
I think they probably could have
I
done.
mean, they
it.
have a lot of
it's like-
extras later on.
They probably could have done it. I mean, yeah, like what
Yeah,
about
it's
that one
like-
scene where they like gunned down
yeah.
all the people coming out of Rio's house?
exactly.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like police in Japan don't have guns like that.
That's what happens. The second you give a policeman in Japan a gun, he just becomes a
He
monster.
he
becomes-
just
he
shoots old
massacres,
ladies.
Like entire groups of people. It's
Yeah.
accurate. Yeah.
But okay, I feel like we really are selling the movie short a bit. The CG when he turns into a mon,
It's
when
great.
when Akira turns into Devilman, it is so
It's really good.
grotesque in a unintended
Okay,
way.
so the really funny
Yeah.
thing about this version of Devilman is he's got his full Devilman version, but more often than he's in that version, he's in an intermediary form where he looks like a really terrible like Shark Boy cosplay.
Yeah, it's the Toku part of
Yeah,
this
that's
movie.
the only practical effects like costuming in this movie is him and his like please can you look it up? Like can we
Yeah.
put this on screen what this looks like? It's really incredible. His like intermediary
Yeah.
devil boy form. It's really
It's
It's just they just put spikes on him and put some blood on like underneath his
yeah, and his
eyes.
hair is
I
all
really
crazy.
love,
And he's got like eyeshadow. It's like wow, this
and like they put some effort into the makeup. Like you can see they do that thing where like I don't know if you've ever done like makeup at home, but like if you get some like toilet paper and like kind of paper mache, you can make it look like scars. Like they do that for like all over his torso to make him look like he's got these big like gaping wounds, and it actually looks like it doesn't look terrible, but like everything put together is so overdone, it looks hilarious.
it looks really bad because he's still just like a kid in like leather pants with like some
Yes.
bad cosplay makeup on him.
He also generates the leather pants every time he turns into a mon and turns back to human.
Yeah.
He suddenly always has the leather pants.
Yes, it doesn't matter if he's been at school. He will have those fucking
Yeah.
leather gimp pants on.
And he's shirtless
I don't
also,
know.
so you get to see how like unmuscular he is and everything.
It's great because in every other adaptation they always make a point to like point out how like physically like tougher he's
Yeah.
gotten.
He becomes a
Like,
monster.
he's like
he becomes a
yeah,
hulking
he turns
monster.
into like a Chad. He becomes a Chad when he gets like the Devilman powers in like any other adaptation.
And this one he just
Like, that's
becomes
the
like
main
like a greaser.
Yeah, he becomes like gacked or something. He just wears like fucking like biker jackets, but like stands around and doesn't say anything.
He's just like brooding from here on. Like he was like happy and like
Yeah.
really ridiculous before, but now he's just like brooding and frowny all the time.
And it's
Yeah,
kind of
he's not cocky like he is in most adaptations.
it's kind of admirable to be like, you know what, we're gonna develop our character 15 minutes in the movie, and after that, there's gonna be no more character development for our main character.
I really like it.
He gets nothing.
In the beginning like of the movie, Miki shows up, and he's in like Akira's
yeah.
like, hey Miki, he like waves and he does like a full body wave, like he waves his torso, like his hips back and forth while moving his hands in the opposite direction, and Ryo's just like
it.
looking at this like what the fuck is this guy?
He's like, do I know
Alright.
you?
Speaking of, all right, Miki doesn't get any fucking characterization either. She's just kind of like there.
She wants
You don't get to
it.
see any of like her spunky tomboyness in like
Yeah.
any of this. She's just kind of like, well, I like you and we live in the same house, and it's just a bunch of that for like the next hour and a half, I guess.
They do seemingly get together and or fuck pretty early on in the movie.
Yeah, well, they like kiss on their bed.
Yeah,
and shit.
and then but we don't know what happens after that. So
Oh well, and then Celine comes in and interrupts.
Okay,
No, that
I
was
was
the
trying to
difference.
remember what the next thing that happens was after like he becomes Devilman for the first time. Is that what happens?
Yeah,
It goes
Celine
into
comes in
Celine.
pretty early.
There's the problem with this movie is like when it isn't something that I remember from the manga, my brain just refused to retain anything, and it's just like, okay, they're just standing in like a weird cafe from like the 50s. Like this scene is like 20 minutes long. Please show me something I recognize.
Yeah.
it's really
There's a lot of like just scenes that go nowhere. This movie does not need to be nearly 2 hours long.
it's really crazy how long this movie is.
It's crazy how long like pointless scenes are and how fast dreadfully important scenes are. Like,
Yeah.
it's nutty. It's absolutely fucking insane. So we get introduced to Celine, which is like, like the first major like boss fight for like Devilman, and they fly around and have like a cool little CG battle. And
You said the word cool. I'm really I'm really
you caught
curious as to
me.
why you said the word cool there.
I don't, I was just, it just slip of the tongue, I guess.
No,
Everything in this, yeah.
So-
For me, Celine is like probably the most iconic. It's not the most iconic because like the ending's probably the most iconic, but Celine is like my favorite like antagonist arc, I guess, of Devilman, because like it ties perfectly into like, I can't remember how they did it in Crybaby. I think they switched it up a bit, but like she teams up with like other devils and like attacks Miki
I
and
think she's
like
there.
her family
The fight
at
is
once.
like one episode in Crybaby, and then she
Okay.
like fuses with the other guy.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like Celine, it's like a great example of like just an arc villain that has so much personality, and like she has a whole past with Amon, so that's the thing that she's
Yeah.
like frustrated that he's now like
Yeah.
fighting against her. She has like some insane powers, like her hand
Oh
falls off, and like I don't know. I'm so obsessed with the Celine fight. The
They
ending
barely
is amazing.
even talk about Amon.
Oh, okay. Wait, I just need to gush about the ending in the
Right.
the manga of the Celine fight. Like, there is something that like haunts me so much about how that fight ends. How like, so basically the like to if people that don't know, so like Devilman is fighting, like Akira is fighting Celine. He's losing. Celine like powers up by fusing with another devil, but she's like on the verge of death, so it's like a power play, like a gamble, and he's like on the ground, like in like normal mode, like about to just die because Celine is going to kill him in her super hyper mode, but she just like waits there and she's sitting, and he's just like, all right, when is it gonna happen? And then like hours pass and he's like, oh, I guess she just died.
Yeah.
I guess she literally just died, and I've been sitting here waiting to die. Like, that whole scene is so well done in like Crybaby and the original, and they just don't do it. They don't care.
In this movie,
Yeah.
Celine is like an adult woman who's wearing a really horrible like think of like a showroom
A Playboy
type
bunny.
of
Yeah.
like woman who would like present like some sort of like prize or something type outfit. It's like white and feathery and looks really bad.
Yeah, it's just a cheap Playboy bunny one piece.
Yeah.
But it's like fluffy and feathery. It was very creepy to me.
And then she like transforms into her full demon form, which she's like more naked, and that's pretty much it. She's got the antenna that Celine has.
She doesn't do her fun like powers. She just stabs Devilman behind. Then Rio comes to save the day, which is like, it's kind of a subversion of what happens in the manga.
Right.
Because Rio
Yeah.
fails to save the day in the manga, which so he just literally comes and I guess kills her off screen.
Yeah. So
She never shows up again.
So like Rio shows up, he blows open the doors and he's like there in like light. And it's really funny. And then like cut to later on, Akira wakes up in like a field and like Rio's there, he's like, and they don't really acknowledge it. Like
They don't.
it's like implied that Rio had killed Selene, but it's not shown, and they're in a completely different location now because they were in Rio's house whenever they were fighting Selene. So now they're just somewhere else, and Selene's gone, and she never shows up again. And that's it.
It was at this point where I began to ask myself, like, why did they make this adaptation? Because they clearly don't care about capturing like the interesting bits that exist in the manga that like really make Devilman like a super just standout
Impactful.
story and impactful.
Cheesy, I want to hear you
Yeah.
talk more. I know you got roommates, but
I just
I see.
yeah,
He's got to handle the demons. It's okay.
Cheesy's
they just
literally
keep getting
becoming
louder.
Amon.
They just keep getting fucking louder. It's so crazy. I was like, oh, they're gonna calm down, but they just get louder. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Cheesy's about to fucking become Amon right
Yeah.
now.
It might be
I
okay
mean, you
for us
guys-
to do like a half of this and then do like another half later.
I mean, I kind of like what you guys are saying so far already.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think I agree with like the majority of what you guys are saying.
But now we have to
None
bring
of you guys
up
said
the
anything that, like, I
part you have to
disagree
talk
with.
about. So like Devilmen have become a problem, and Japan creates the Devil unit or the Demon
Wait.
unit or whatever.
We're skipping over Gene Man. We're skipping over Gene Man.
Oh, that's right.
Wait, which one?
Yeah.
The turtle. All right. It's not that big a deal because it's not that big in the manga, but he's like
In
a
the
super
movie.
cool villain that like. I mean, the chapter in the manga isn't that long, but in the movie he's even less. Like,
Yeah.
he's just like nothing.
This guy's deal is he's a turtle and he like eats humans for food, and he has the faces of each human that he ate on his back.
And they all have
They
like their
talk,
memories and
yeah.
shit, and they talk to Akira and stuff. And in the manga and everything else, it's so cool because it's like, it's having like Akira face like the idea of like slaughtering people he loves, and Jinmen is just like this fucker who like torments him over stuff like that. He's just this evil
In
fuck.
this movie,
and then
yeah, he
just walks up to him and punches.
he ate the guy who drew and he who had his like fingers cut off, and so Aki was just like, yeah, I'll punch you. He just punches the face of the guy the artist guy. The artist guy has a really cool art style, by the way. Like, we
Yeah,
see
it's
like
sick.
several
We
of
gotta
his
figure
drawings,
out.
and they look really cool.
We gotta figure out who drew those.
Yeah, I'm sure it's in the credits, but yeah. So he just punches the face of that guy, and then Jinmin is dead. But we get Jinmin, which his whole purpose is basically to be like, I'm not eating to be cruel. I eat humans just because I need to eat. This is my food. And you've killed
Yeah.
me for no reason. I'm just doing what like an animal does. I'm just kind of innocent, sort of.
It makes me
kinda
mad though because he's
preludes,
lying. Like he is just doing this
yeah.
to be cruel. I mean, he's eating
He
too,
is
but like
he is a very cruel guy. That one. It kind of preludes like how demon kind isn't.
They're not
fucked up
innately
as we think
evil.
it
They're
is.
they just
Yeah.
are very violent and eat people.
At least in the manga and in Crybaby and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point. But yeah, that scene is kind of just like in a movie that's 2 hours long. It's just a 1 minute scene for like no good reason.
Yeah.
Anyway, after that, we start getting into
The devil
the demon
unit.
the devil unit. We don't get to see any of the cool sci-fi shit they do, and we don't get
No.
to see like any of like the cool like international politics. We just have this one newscaster guy
who is the
like,
one black guy that they could get in Japan. It looks like he's like an actor.
He's kind of famous.
Yeah, he's like an actor in
Yeah.
Japan, but like
He's like kind of a meme.
he is
man.
totally not fit for the role of a newscaster because he's enormous and
He's
jacked.
huge. He has like
He is
he has like a thin chin striped beard. Like, have you ever seen a newscaster with a fucking thin chin striped beard?
he is like a fucking bodybuilder slash like wrestler guy, and he does not look like he should be on a news program at all. But he's
It's
he,
so
and he
weird.
only speaks in English, and that's the only like version of like the world news we get. Cheesy, can you describe what the devil unit looks like?
Yeah.
They're literally like anti. Oh my god, this fucking movie. Their logo is a Star of David, and sure you could say that there's a cross in the middle, so they might be saying something about like, oh, maybe all religions are kind of bad, but Christianity is kind of played as like kind
Totally
of a good thing
good
almost in this movie.
and it's like a red
So-
cross.
so it
It's not
feels-
like a-
Yeah, it feels so weird. Like, oh, the people who because okay, so the devil unit is like a consistent thing in every adaptation of Devilman.
There they are. They're running amok, the
There
devils.
they are. The devil
Devilman.
freaks.
Yeah, so in this movie,
It's the anti-Semites. They want to stop me.
Yeah.
they're trying to stop Cheesy.
so yeah, they have like they're basically just like these guys in white hazmat suits, and they have a logo which is a Star of David with like a black Red Cross-esque cross in the middle of it. And they just go
Very
around
interesting
fucking
choice.
massacring people in the street. Like they just
Yeah.
gun down tons of innocent people in the street.
I want to reiterate, like, there's no, like, cool, like, international politicking before this. Like, there's no, like, guys in boardrooms. It's just the fucking newscaster says, oh, it is time to start the fucking, the purge. And they just
Literally.
show up.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's moments like these, and I'm just like, why did they decide to make this adaptation? Like they were just excluding like, because to me, like one of my favorite like elements in a story, and this is like, oh, you always see it in like horror, like long form horror stories, is like society like dissolving. Like I think that's like such a terrifying thing that you can do over the course of like a story, and
Yeah.
it like society dissolves in this movie, and then it's like fine, and then it's gone, and then it's fine again, and it's just like.
Yeah,
It's very
so
weird.
It's like in the original, this is like a theme where like the humans are worse than devils. But in this
Mhm.
movie, it doesn't make any sense because the devil unit literally are just guys in hazmat suits, and they can just destroy tons of demons with just regular bullets. Like the demons are not a threat at all compared to guns.
It's
I,
so
I think
funny.
what really bothers me though is that in every adaptation, the demon unit supposed to kind of represent this kind of like these like fears that people have
Hmm.
about like other groups of people already.
Yeah.
Like yeah, like it's bigotry. You know, they have certain bigotry,
Right.
right? Because I remember the manga explicitly they say stuff, and they do this in Devilman Crybaby that like demons specifically possess people who have problem with society,
Yeah.
right? Well, who are the people who have like the biggest problem with society are like
Minorities.
minorities, underrepresented groups, stuff like that, right? So it
Yeah.
really frames it as like oh people like yeah that's
It's like
racism, like this
X-Men.
is
It's
a big
basically
fucking problem.
X-Men.
Yeah, but what fucking is kind of awful that this movie does is that it gives a logo to that, and they put a Star of David. So
What
they're
if the
and like
Jews
if
were the real Nazis, bro?
It's the Star of David and the
and
cross.
it's and because if you know anything about like white supremacist circles, like they do like they love to say shit like oh yeah like it's the Jews who are starting the race war and shit like oh my fucking god.
People.
And Devilman gets crucified by them, and then there's one scene where it's like trenches of dead bodies that look suspiciously like how they had the when you know when they would like kill Jews like because they would like line them up in the fucking trenches like and it would just be stacks of their bodies and it looks just like it like holy
People are
fuck.
gonna be like in the
Yeah.
Like-
comments are gonna be like, oh, it's just a random chance that they chose the Star of David. But like this movie is like caked in really obnoxious and horrible religious imagery, like Christian
Yes.
imagery. So it's incredibly strange that these guys with the Jewish symbol crucify Devilman and then execute him like Jesus.
Yeah.
It's no Evangelion
It's-
where like people can hand wave away the things like oh yeah they just said it was like cool looking imagery like no it is like explicitly tied to the story because Rio being Satan is something that like
Strange.
the movie really loves to focus on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird. Because in this movie, like, they have several scenes where they're going into church. There's like a big church there, and they go in and they like
Yeah.
pray, I guess, because they're Christian or
Yeah,
something.
Miki and Akira
Yeah.
come in, and she's all like, "Oh, I want to have so many kids. I want to birth so many."
She wants to
kids,
get married in
Akira."
that church, and Crybaby, Miki's family is Christian.
So it actually makes sense,
Yeah.
but they don't allude to anything like that in this.
Yeah, there's just an inexplicable like giant like cathedral in the middle of Japan that they
Yeah.
go to.
Well, there are Christians in
There
Japan. They've
are.
been like
It's just, like,
persecuted for a while.
Why would
but,
these
like,
random Japanese teens be invested in this? Like, it's a very not a big thing in Japan.
yeah,
I kind of like how oh god this it's the more I think about this movie the more I like Devilman and Crybaby more because it kind of does a lot of similar things. I mean you
Yeah.
can't help it because they're both adaptations of the same thing, right?
yeah,
But it's like oh yeah Crybaby kind of did this but better. It's like we saw the better version of this movie and maybe the problem is that it should have not been a movie. Actually you know what maybe a Devilman movie can work
Oh yeah,
but
for sure.
how they did it like this just
It
just
needs
ain't
a
it.
budget at all.
Yes.
This movie is terribly shot and looks like shit, which is common for Japanese movies, but this one
They
looks
use-
really bad.
They use the fucking soap opera cameras for this movie. It's
Yeah.
so
Several
my God.
scenes in this thing whenever they're at the school or whatever are just not properly lit, so they're very strangely dark. Or like they're using like handheld cameras a couple times for like moving shots and it looks really bad and it's like this why?
I think like so the one thing that I kept trying to think about with this movie was like the script because the script is so strange. Like I guess the screenplay is a better word to use, and like it's so weird what the things that they choose to focus on and foreshadow. But like the one thing that they almost kind of get right and they ultimately fail on it, but they give I forget her name. It's like Miku or something.
Miko.
The other
Miko.
Yeah, Miko.
One-
Like the other
I
devil
hate that their
Devilman
names
girl.
are that, but yeah.
They similar to what like Crybaby did, where they make her more of a character. Like
She's
early
cool. She's
on.
really cool in Crybaby.
Oh yeah, she's like the totally is just a way better version of that. But compared to the original, like this version, like, they're incorporating her more into the story. She's more of a character. They tie her storyline in with the abused child and give
she
her
gets bullied like crazy in this movie.
Yeah, and they give her kind of like more of a connection to something, because the only real connection she had in the original is with Akira, just because they're both Devilmen and he like saves her. So from like that standpoint, like having another Devilman and like giving her backstory works, but then they decide to take her story into the worst possible way, where the real reason that she's being bullied is because she's ugly, and Miki just needs to make sure she puts makeup on and is pretty. And that's
she's literally like, she's cuter than like Miki, honestly.
She is. Yeah.
Honestly, she is. And then like, but it's so frustrating to me that this is her arc. It's not like learning to accept myself with these weird like horrifying boils that I have that shoot goo. It's no. I am a pretty girl, and I put a makeup on, and I smile, and I'm happy because I'm pretty.
I don't know if they were bullying her for her being ugly. I think they were just bullying her because it's like a Japanese high school setting, and you always have to have like somebody being inexplicably horribly bullied. Like they're throwing balls at her in like gym class, and like just really violently bullying her in front of everybody. Like at one point, whenever she comes back to school, like she hasn't been at school for a while, so they're like, "Ha, you haven't been at school for a long time," and everybody's standing around, and they're like, "Oh, are you one of those Devilmen?" And then they keep bullying her anyway, I guess, because they don't think she's actually a Devilman, but she is, and she like her like acid like arm shoots out and like disintegrates something, and then they all freak out.
Freak out.
Do you know what it disintegrates, Spork? A globe.
The
Foreshadowing.
the globalist agenda that she's taking it down. Mm-hmm.
The Devilmen are going to destroy the globalists.
In the
This movie fucking sucks, bro.
in the original manga, like Devilman like goes out and finds like more Devilman because he realizes, oh, there's plenty of other pure-hearted people in the world.
I fucking love that in the
It's so
original
cool.
manga.
It's great.
Yeah, okay, because it makes so much. Oh my god, it makes so much sense. Like thematically, like because like the demon unit, all that, it kind of represents this kind of like fear of other people, of like just other groups of people, and like Devilman's solution to that is all like, no, like it's like how I'm gonna combat that is like unite people. There's gotta be more people like me, right? And I love that. I love when like groups are made out of it. I feel like the movie feels too fucking like uber menschy because ultimately it's just like him and he summons his fucking Super Saiyan Devilman form and he like wipes out. Jesus Christ.
Like just like that.
Yeah. The rest of the Devilmen in this movie, or the rest of the demon possessed humans at least, are just not a threat at all.
Yeah, they get shot. It's like in the manga, they're like a big ass threat, and they're just like
it makes sense in the
tearing
manga
down
that
people
like
with, like,
people be like, okay, I'm fucking scared, but now they're basically just humans after a point because you can just kill them using regular means, and they don't have any special powers or anything.
There's this one scene where like the police are like walking into a mansion and it's like House of the Dead. Like people like they just fucking walk out to get shot. It's
Yeah.
There's like dozens of them leaving the leaving the front door to die. It's so funny.
There's that fat black one that like walks out and he says,
yeah,
like,
the nutty
"Devil
professor
man."
shows up and he's like, Devil's bonsai.
Long live the devils.
Devil's bonsai, and he
I
just
love
gets
that
shot
guy.
a bunch of times, and he dies. That's it.
He was iconic.
Yeah.
But they're not doing anything. Like,
Yeah, it's that same scene where we like learn that like Rio is like on the side of like just killing all these guys because he's just like into
it's really
it.
strange.
And like Akira like notices him. And he just like stops and just lets him like run away.
Yeah, that later on, yeah. So at first, Rio like shows up to the place, to that mansion with like guns and shit, and he does a really truly hilarious little routine where he kills a bunch of the cops.
I forgot about this.
In the most hilarious way. Like at one point he like spins around really lamely holding two of like his like automatic rifles and just like guns down a bunch of cops, and it looks incredible. But later on he's shown killing like the regular civilians, so it's like, all right, he just doesn't care, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's literally just We want to have a shocking scene where Rio is shooting people, and we don't realize it's him at first.
Yeah.
So like the next like 30 minutes of the movie basically just kind of like meandering around till we get to
Terrible. This movie sucks, dude.
until
Don't
we
watch
get to
this
the
movie.
part
It's
where
not worth it at all.
it's honestly so bad. It's like 30 minutes of like just like people getting shot till like we get to like Miki's family getting murdered and stuff. Do you guys remember that one scene where the wife is all like, "Hey, did you sleep with anybody?"
Yeah, at the very end.
Oh yeah.
Her dying words are, were you ever whatever the word is when people say, "Were you cheating on me?"
Were you ever unfaithful?
Unfaithful. And
he's
the dad's
"Of
like,
course
no.
not."
And she's like, you're lying, but I don't care. Like, that's the point.
You're
And she
lying.
gets done way worse than him, too. It's so weird. Like,
Yeah.
whenever like, the
They
riot
come in.
comes into their house, they, like,
Yeah.
kick her ass. And, like,
They stomp on her head.
yeah, it's really... And then the dad basically doesn't get anything. They, like, they
He just gets a knife
brutally
to the
beat
gut.
her up and then stab her. And then the guy just, like, has to watch and gets stabbed. And he gets, like, a really heroic, like... Where he's like sitting up, like he's dead, but he's not laying down, you know. It's really weird because it's
Yeah.
not deserved for this character at all, who didn't do anything. Like the only thing he did was be like he realized Akira was a Devilman, and he like
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's like, just because you're a devil
I
guy
won't treat you any different.
doesn't mean you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
You know.
But like
You can still
that's
fuck
all
my
he
daughter.
does. He doesn't like the wife gets beat
Yeah.
up so much worse, and it's like why? Like what?
That was really, yeah, just one of those little moments where you're just like, why did they make this decision? Because this was a decision. Like
It's so weird.
they had to like put all that extra blood makeup all over the wife. Like they didn't need to do that.
Yeah,
It's-
she didn't do. She barely has any lines throughout this movie, and she agrees to
Yeah.
like harbor the Devilman, so she's just as good. Like, it's crazy. Maybe they just did it to be more
nuts.
shocking because it's like, oh, violence against a woman, but it just
Yeah.
looks really strange. Because it looks like
Yeah.
the father gets like a heroic death, and she just gets really fucking messed
She just
up.
gets beaten to death like a fucking dog. Just like
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's really
absolute
weird.
like humiliation. And then beyond that, they go and find Miki, and I guess we cut away from there. We don't get to see her get got immediately. What the fuck happens next after this in this shitty fucking
So this
movie?
is whenever he grabs her head, and then it's like 20 minutes of him like walking in the church.
No.
Wait.
There's we.
Is this
we-
when he
We
dies?
definitely cut away.
Is this
we
when
cut
they
away?
kill Akira?
Oh yeah.
No.
They
Or
they
did we-
did that
I know we already
before
mentioned that.
because before this scene where the parents die, okay, so some people are like organizing like a little neighborhood watch to go around to hunt for Devilman, and the parents don't want to go with it, and so wait, the perfect guy never does anything. I just realized that.
Yeah.
The perfect guy never does anything in the whole movie.
We get like 3 scenes of him like
Creeping on
curving
like,
on
Miki.
on Miki.
He's got
like
a big scope, and
He's got like this weird like snuggy like hideout and glowing teeth, and he just
got
like
multiple
shoots
screens where he,
voyeur
like,
shots.
shows Miki's face because he's stalking her with like a
Yeah,
camera.
he's trying to get her into gravure, no doubt. You know, get her JAV debut.
But later on, we
like,
see that this guy has
started.
become a devil man, or like a devil. He's been possessed, and it's like, so he's the one who like is like, oh, you guys harboring devils here, and then the real police come and then take away Akira. But yeah, that guy does not get any payoff. It looks like he's like being built up, but nothing happens with him.
Absolutely nothing fucking happens to
I
them.
didn't even
I'm
think about
mad.
it.
I'm more mad now than I was before.
Yeah.
We were just wondering the entire time what would happen with this guy, and then nothing happened.
Because he's like this weird character that doesn't show up in anything else. I keep wondering if he's like going to be like act as like a replacement for like some of like the school hooligans that Akira befriends. You know, because they come to help like Miki in her time of need
Yeah.
in like the manga and in other stuff. But no, he's just like this weird fucking guy that exists. So we get to see like a bit of just like not even like the creep shots aren't even really like creep shots. It's just her and
It's whenever she's like outside of her house. I guess he's across the street and he can just watch the front of the house with a camera, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's just
So-
another one of those baffling inclusions that only serves to like pad out the runtime of this movie that's already 2 hours long.
Yeah.
Why? Why did they? Who made this? Who's responsible for this?
So it looked like a director screenwriter couple. Let me see if I have
Oh,
their names.
that's never a good sign.
Force them to get
Yeah.
a divorce. This is not acceptable.
Hiroyuki Nasu and Machiko Nasu.
They're bad.
They're bad.
I love when you click on a
Um,
director's name on Wikipedia and every single movie they've done in their filmography is a dead link. Like it's
Yeah.
it's
Well,
one of those
check,
red links.
Check their
A lot of Japanese.
check their shit on Letterboxd. Their Letterboxd shit seems to be like girls kissing girls, and then like a lot of like Boncho.
All right, he's
movies,
based,
just, like,
actually. I
Japanese
love
delinquents.
I'm a big fan of this director.
So it looks like they made Bebop High School, which is a manga that I've never heard of. Where they made like adaptations. They made 7 live action films based on this manga that I've never heard of.
Incredible.
Here, I'll drop a fucking link so you guys. Can...
At one point, I was thinking this from the beginning. Whenever we see Devilman in his full devil form, and at the end of the movie, he fights Ryo in his angel form, and I'm like, these characters look like they were designed by Katsuya Terada, who's one of my favorite artists of all time. And I looked it up, and they were. So,
Yeah.
like, whenever Devilman is like fighting, which happens incredibly rarely in this movie, it looks like a PS2 Tekken game. Like it just looks like Tekken. It's like
Yeah. There's no other way to describe it. It literally just looks like Jin Kazuma.
yeah, in his
Like-
devil form. But yeah, the character designs were done by Katsuya Terada, and if this were just like a Devil May Cry style action game where you play as Devilman, then it would probably be pretty cool because those 2 designs looked good. The rest of them look really shitty, but that's it.
I don't
Well,
want
they
to.
look
I don't
good.
even want to say
they look
that they
good
look
in
good.
like stills. They look good in like stills, but like as like a CG for like a movie.
Right, they look good because they're models, but like the actual like on paper they look good.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure the fucking concept art for this movie looks awesome. I'm looking at this artist right now. This stuff's incredible. It is just like
You did
why
not pick a good one.
Yeah, just unfortunately you've directed all of your energy into a bad thing that is terrible and also looks bad.
Well, he didn't know. He just designed a few of the things, probably.
I'm happy he got paid.
Oh wait, all right. I know what they cut away from after we're left wondering if Mickey's dead. So fucking Miko and the boy.
The best
that-
scene.
We didn't talk about the boy. The boy is just some like random character they kept from the manga, where his like parents are like turned into devils, and then he gets killed, and it's like sad or whatever. But they let him live here, so I guess he could like.
Because Miko protected
know.
him. Miko killed his
Miko
parents
protected.
and then took him.
Yeah, so they like wander around and like in the manga, like Miko is sort of just like abducted by the demon force to like experiment on her, and like so they can create all their fucking like weapons and shit. But here she's just like she literally pulls a fucking katana off the ground out of nowhere. And just
There was
starts
no
slashing
katana
them up.
anywhere. It's just there.
She also has these
It's just
beautiful
there.
butterfly wings for some
Yeah,
reason.
she unfurls her because
Yeah.
she was actually beautiful the whole time. If she had just released her devil form, she would have been beautiful because she just looks the same except she has like flowing like gossamer wings that just look like fabric. And they glow, I guess.
They're butterfly wings made out of like satin silk sheets
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, just
And then I guess we
Unfortunate.
cut back to seeing Miki get murdered, and then Akira, who's just I guess done being like gimped up, like just comes back and like
I think he literally
notices-
like spits the bullets out of his mouth. Like, I thought that was just kind of funny. Like, instead of the
Yeah.
bullets like popping out like it would Wolverine,
Yeah.
like the bullets just pop out where they enter. Like they all collected in his belly and then he threw them up.
Yeah. Yeah, like Akira himself is the most strongest devil, which is always the case, but in this one it's
Yeah.
such a stark contrast because the other devils seem so low power compared to him.
Yeah, they are really not a threat at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This movie's really bad. Do
Oh.
not watch it. It's not worth it.
it sucks.
It
This is
is-
where it gets like very.
It is a
boring.
fucking travesty.
Like the second, I mean, the whole movie's bad. Second half is worse. The final like 30 minutes were a slog.
So
Yes.
yeah.
All right. They spend like 15 minutes in like the fucking chapel with fucking Rio, and he just shows up and he's like, "You want to fight me, bro? I'm gonna fight you, Rio."
They just talk for so long,
You
and then they go to the
fight me?
basement and they fight in the
They
basement.
talk so long and they say absolutely
Cheesy,
nothing.
I
It's
need
just
to get
like-
more opinions from you before this is over.
It's just humanity is
You think this
bad.
movie is anti-gay?
Probably. Yeah, it doesn't
hold on.
include gay Rio. It doesn't include the
Yeah.
original hermaphrodite ending.
I don't think
Yeah.
this movie is anti-gay.
Rio is not gay for Akira, which sucks because he's gay for Akira.
The only thing this movie does is it
remove.
removes all of the like possible queer subtext from the story and just makes it worse. That's it.
It just makes it worse.
They just do like a big shonen fight, which they don't really do like anywhere else.
Yeah. He like instead of like looking like his like big titty angel form, Rio just looks like a devil may cry, devil triggered dude.
Very bad.
Yeah.
That was such a bad decision because like
He just looks like Angel Man.
Yeah, he looks like an SMT boss or something.
Yeah, he doesn't have like his like cool like feminine like features.
Nah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so sick. That's another thing that I love about Rio's like Satan design. It's like there's so much more to it than surface level. It's not like a power up. It's like he's embodying
Yeah.
like both masculine and feminine, and like
yeah.
also as you said like gay for Akira.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
In this one, there's
And-
there's really very little justification for why Rio did anything, or it's like not even explicitly stated that Rio caused it. It's just that like he is Satan. Like
Well,
They don't talk about God at all.
In the original story, I mean, they talk about Satan being like
right.
the penultimate like demon who wants to like bring about all this.
If you were to watch
but
this
it's-
movie, never having seen any other Devilman media, you would have zero idea why Rio does any of this, or like if Rio
It's so
even causes it in the
confusing.
first place, you would have no idea.
he just shows up and is like a fucking bitch for like 50 minutes. He's just
I
an
feel like-
asshole.
I feel like this movie kind of expects you to already know who Devilman is.
Yeah, for sure.
Almost. I think
Yeah,
that's why they
without
like
a doubt.
speed.
That's why it's
That's why they
bad.
speed run it, and that's why like the kind of the Satan plot twist isn't really like. I mean, I guess it's like one of the most famous, I guess, plot twists ever in manga, right? So how do you not know it, right? But it's so like I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like my same problem with like the Watchmen movie, where it's all like hold up. Here's like a piece of media that asks like a lot of questions, that says like a lot of things about like society, politics, and whatnot, right? They're attacking me for shit talking Watchmen.
Me when I hear people shit talking
Watchmen
Watchmen.
is
The
like
Snyder
a
fans, they're
fucking
attacking me.
masterpiece compared to
The
this.
Snyder fans are the ultimate fucking demons on this earth.
No,
They
what I'm
just-
saying is that like how Zack Snyder knows that Watchmen is like a very like it says a lot about our society, but he doesn't know exactly what
Right.
it's saying about society. That's what I feel about the
Yeah, this
Devilman
movie is exactly like that.
It doesn't really get to the whole like it doesn't really get the whole like masterful conclusion that like fear is the ultimate like evil of society. It's what drives us to do evil shit.
I
Like
fucking oh my god!
remember when
I just-
Ryo tells Akira that in the manga
Yes.
And like,
Oh yeah.
like
and then Rio
countries are like blowing
purposely
each other up and shit.
and then Rio purposely like feeds in more fear by like outing Akira as Devilman.
Yeah.
Because he's Satan, right? That's fucking great. But in this one, it's like, oh, Rio, you took away a potential traditional family away from me. I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, but it's like,
at the
and
fucking
Rio
end.
might as well have not done that because he's never shown doing anything. He's never shown orchestrating anything.
Yeah.
The most he does is when he like is in the cop uniform, and that's
Yeah.
about it.
At one point, he masquerades as a cop and starts killing civilians, but that's all he does. Like, in Crybaby, he's shown to like be behind the media. Like, the world media has like been like infected by devils, and like Rio is like there puppeting them to like spread more fear. But in this movie, it's nothing like that. The newscaster guy does turn out to be a devil, but it's just like, yep, he's a devil. Yep.
If anything, it's more of a gag.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just yeah. Like what I think you were saying, Cheesy said it. Like, it's just they expect you to know what Devilman is, and thus the movie is just a bunch of scenes happening. Like, it is just
and it's none of the cool scenes.
no, yeah, it's just like, okay, we can like squeeze in like this reference and this reference. And it's like, all right, I guess we actually need to shift these two plot elements around. Like, let's put some effort in that, but then whatever.
The most enjoyment I had watching this movie was during the final fight, where it's just two Tekken enemies in like a PS2 pre-rendered cutscene smashing against each other. If the entire movie had been like that, it would have been fine. It would have been like a 5 out of 10. This movie is like a 2, like a 2 out of 10.
This movie is one of the worst fucking things I've ever seen in my life. Devilman is such a phenomenal story.
It's like a 2 out of 10.
Yeah, it makes it
This
hurt worse
movie
that
is
it's
a
like
fucking
it is
two.
legitimately based off of something incredible.
It's so bad. Oh my god.
Really?
Like the ending fucking scene where it's just like this beautiful silent moment where Rio laments over like losing Akira and thus his humanity and the humanity in the rest of the world. They're just like shooting the shit. Like, remember when we were kids and we built that fucking
The Tower of Babel
sandcastle?
sandcastle, and then it started
The
raining.
Tower of Babel. Yeah. I made you smile. I made you smile, bitch.
Yeah, Akira dies and he keeps talking, and then Akira smiles. His dead body just.
Yeah.
There's no fucking. They had like no real relationship throughout the movie, and like, oh my god.
It's just like this. What is supposed to be this beautiful, like, silent moment, like just humanity fucking dying and cooking in its own fucking juices, is just like obliterated for like some fucking shitty sandcastle
And at
memory.
the very end, that Miko and the little boy are left to repopulate the Earth, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. They're just there, like just them. Like in every other adaptation, like that's just it for humanity.
Yeah.
But like these two, I guess they're just here and they're gonna fuck.
In
or something.
Crybaby, it like restarts. It like starts the cycle over again. But in this, it's like,
Yeah.
yep. Good.
Yeah.
It's just like I just don't have words. I really don't have words. I just really dislike it. I feel like it just misses the point. It just misses everything, and it looks shitty and bad. I hate it.
It doesn't even have the courtesy to not waste your time. This movie's so long.
This could have been a tight 90. This could have been a tight 90 minutes. Like,
With so much, with as much bullshit as they leave in there, it could have easily been 90 minutes.
It could have been 1 hour,
Holy
I'm
shit.
sure.
Yeah.
but yeah. So yeah, Devilman, don't watch it. Devilman 2, maybe sequel.
Maybe Zack Snyder.
Yeah, we were
Dude.
like,
I hope-
at certain points.
I hope they try a live action Devilman again, because I feel like it's already like written out for you basically. Like, this should be so easy. This is how I feel about like live action Death Note. Like, this should be so easy to adapt. Like, what the fuck is? Why do people keep fucking it up?
It's one of the most popular things. It will definitely have a live action someday,
Yeah.
probably. I mean, Astro Boy has
One of
never
these
had a live
days.
action, right? So maybe not.
It had that one movie, that
Nick
one
Cage,
Western
right?
movie. Remember?
That was animated though.
Yeah, but I mean,
That was
it's
animated.
a Western movie.
Well, yeah, it was also
Yeah,
Western,
I
but
guess.
like,
That's
I
like
don't want
big.
live action. I don't want live action Astro Boy. Hot take.
Yeah.
no, I agree.
What other big Japanese franchises could they make a live action out of?
I feel
Maybe
like-
like Tomorrow's Joe.
You mean
or something?
Japanese or American? That's the important thing.
Like a Japanese manga, I guess.
Japan makes
Not a
so many
manga.
live
I
action
wanna
manga
see
adaptations. They
American.
make so many of them.
I want to see American Devilman live action. I mean, I think I did say it before. Zack Snyder Devilman.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I'll double
Ghost
down.
Rider.
on
Yeah, I
that.
mean, I guess.
Zack
Ghost
Snyder.
Rider.
That's
Devilman
not-
Ghost Rider.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage as Akira.
If you thought the religious references were bad in this, Zack Snyder Devilman would be the worst.
But like, I feel like Devilman would be perfect for Zack Snyder because he would be validated in his like boner for putting in like Jesus into shit.
Yeah.
Maybe would Zack Snyder do it? Cause like he would have to make Jesus like a devil. Would that be okay?
He'd make Rio like fuck, what's it? Jesse Heisenberg's Lex Luthor. That's who Rio would be.
Oh god.
No. Hold up. What about? I'm gonna toss this
I
out,
love that.
and I want you guys to get ready for it. All right, Michael Cera Rio.
I'm down for that.
I would love that. I would
I'm
fucking
so
love
here
that.
for that.
Yeah. I guess yeah. Yeah.
I just
We
want to
should play
see Michael
Akira.
Cera
We
with
should
big
play
tits.
Akira.
I just want to see Michael Cera with big tits.
Michael
Is it too
Cera
much to
big
ask?
I don't even
succulent
need, like-
movies.
Who's like a young popular actor?
Chris.
Chris. You
Pratt.
just say
I'm
Chris.
kidding.
Just say Chris.
Taylor Lautner as Akira.
We could get
Taylor Lautner's like
fucking-
30.
No, get fucking Spider Dork as.
Oh.
Spider
Tom
Dork.
Holland. Yeah, Tom Holland as Akira.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland as Akira. Oh my god.
It would be so fucking funny. Come on.
He's like the before Akira, and then get like Hugh Jackman to play the after Akira
No,
once he
Tom,
gets
Tom Holland is playing like Nathan
Andrew
Drake.
Garfield.
so-
Andrew Garfield is Akira. That'd be awesome.
Aw. Who'd be a good Mickey? Who'd be a good Mickey.
Jennifer Stone.
Perfect.
Zendaya.
Stone.
Zendaya.
Who the hell is Jennifer
Oh.
Stone?
Wait, what's the name of that one? What's the name of Ganki from what's the name of the actor who plays him? Hold up.
Gong?
I-
That Spider-Man
Genki?
Far From Home.
Oh,
Yeah,
Genki. Yeah.
Yeah,
Genki?
his friend, his Ruben S. Maybe Pacific Islander
Yeah.
friend.
Miles' friend
Yeah.
in the
Miles'
MCU.
friend. Yeah.
Genki. Yeah.
Miles' friend?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they
it's basically.
wait.
like
Oh, his name is
Miles
Ned in Far
Morales
From
comics.
Home. Yeah, Jacob Batalon.
yeah they
Yeah, he'll be.
in like Miles like they took that character from like Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was very
Wait,
confused. I
hold
was
on.
like, wait,
I'm
has
looking for a
Miles
picture
been
for him
in?
right now.
Miles hasn't been in MCU, right?
No,
No, I don't think he ever will.
probably not.
Rio. This guy's gonna
He
be
looks
Rio.
very
Yeah.
different in this picture than how he usually looks.
Oh my god.
We have to get
just a
Zendaya
minute.
as Miki.
Zendaya Mika. That's what I've been saying.
Lindsay Lohan can play Miko.
We're so old.
How about Lindsay Lohan as fucking what's her face?
Jennifer Lawrence as Silene.
Yeah.
All right, now we're
Jennifer
talking.
Lawrence is Celine.
Cha-ching. No, actually, Anne Hathaway should be
We have
Celine.
exhausted all the actors I know the names of.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway would be Celine. That'd be pretty sick. And her
What if we got
Chris-
all these people?
Chris Pratt as Jin Man.
What if we got all these people, but we had to subject them to like the same script as this?
That'd be so worth
That'd be
it.
awesome.
That'd be so worth
we
it.
could probably get Bob Sapp again. I would love to
Right,
get
Bob
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 Sapp was the
Sapp.
black guy, the newscaster.
Or,
Yeah,
yeah.
The one.
We,
the one
you should
person
put up
who
like
spoke
one
English.
of. You should put up like some of his like meme images. Like there's so many of them of like him in Japan, just like making weird little faces.
Bob
Let me pull
Sapp.
one up. Japan. There we go. Oh, you know what? No, all right. I recognize this. Some fucking racist on Twitter was using this.
What?
Yeah, here, I'll post it in the chat. Look at that fucking face. Does that not look familiar?
This does look familiar.
Oh no!
Oh, we're gonna have to put that on
Look
screen.
at his fingers.
Yeah, you have to.
Look at
You
his
have to put
fucking
that on
fingers.
He's a
screen.
big man. He's got big fingers.
Looks like his fingers are broken in place.
Or it might be some YouTube guy. I don't
It,
know.
it reminds me of the tweet. We're bananas for Black History Month.
Oh,
This guy is
no.
definitely one of the guys to play the monkey in like Japanese. There's an interview with a cool comics creator called Felipe Smith, on the podcast. What's it called?
Cartoonist Kayfabe.
Right.
They interviewed him.
Felipe
Canadian
Smith's like
cars
a
drinking
black guy who went to Japan to work on manga, and he was talking about how like
Oh yeah.
people would want him to be on TV, but even though Felipe Smith learned English and can speak it, they wanted him to just learn Japanese and can speak it. They wanted him to speak English and like just be like a funny little character for them to like run around.
Yeah.
And Bob Sapp is totally that. He's like, I have no shame. I'm going to eat the banana.
Honestly, like I cannot blame people that do that. Like,
Yeah.
It's
especially
apparently very easy money.
yeah, if you're
Yeah, I
an
would do
actor and
it.
you're really struggling, like that seems like a pretty golden opportunity.
If you look different in Japan, you can become a clown. Haha.
I was watching like some guys on like YouTube who like bike around in China. They're assholes, but they call them like they describe this type of job as like a white monkey job. Apparently,
Huh.
they just hire you to like pretend to be like a doctor or some
Right,
shit. To,
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
Make
This is
like
American
hospitals look more
yokai.
credible.
Mhm.
This is American yokai, indeed.
All right,
Oh.
back to Devilman, the anime, the movie.
I would
Do we have any?
Devilman.
Do we have anything else we want to say before we wrap things up?
Please go read Devilman. It's honestly
Read
so-
Devilman. Watch. If you don't like reading, just watch Crybaby.
But yeah,
They're very good.
That's what I did.
Devilman
is great.
Devilman's from like the manga's from like the 60s. That shit reads like
It's from the 70s.
That's from the 70s. Thank
It's-
you. It reads
yeah.
so easy. Like for being such a dated, quote unquote dated. It's just really old. It reads
It's
so
so-
good. It honestly like I'm a big fan of Chainsaw Man. It read as easy as Chainsaw Man does. If you, because I mean at least with
Yeah.
Western comics,
Should
I have
we
a hard
actually
time
talk
reading.
about Devilman's influence a little bit in this?
Yeah, you can see Devilman.
Wait, hold on. Can we have like a part 2?
Yeah, sure.
you know what?
Because
Yeah.
like I'm not in the best state right now to
Yeah,
do
we're
that.
so-
I'm
we could
currently
just-
battling
we
my
could
own
just-
devils, if you will.
All right.
And they're real.
We can just release a Tokucast where we just talk about how cool Devilman
Yeah,
is because
we
it
could
honestly
totally do
fucking
that.
fucks.
Yeah, that gives us
love
some time to like
Devilman.
research too. And
Yeah, hold on to all your Devilman facts because I do want to do like a
Yeah.
Devilman style video. I fucking love Devilman. That's why it was
I
so
love
painful
it
to watch
so
this
much.
movie.
yeah, it
it's
sucks.
so bad. It's such a disgrace.
Sucks.
Oh god.
You
At least, like-
viewers-
At least I hope that like the people who didn't like this movie, who never read the manga, at least went back to see like the manga to just see how good it was compared to the movie. That's like I guess a nice silver lining.
yeah.
We can hope.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess the final thoughts before we end this.
Don't watch it
episode.
even as a joke. It's not worth it.
Don't watch it as a joke. It's not that funny. Like it's mostly just kind of dull.
There is one
Like-
incredible scene with 3 very overweight men.
Oh, yes.
I would implore you to find that scene somehow.
We're gonna put it on the screen.
Yeah, they're gonna be like all the worthwhile scenes are gonna be played in this video, so you don't have to watch the movie.
If you want something funny that's Devilman related, just go watch the old '70s show. It's fucking hilarious.
Cheesy. You should
Yeah.
make you should make a video that's called, the video title will just be "They made a Devilman movie," and then it just include the funny clips, and that's
Yeah.
it. And this video will get millions of views because that's how YouTube.
Oh yeah, it'll fucking blow
That's
up.
that sounds like a good idea.
maybe.
Actually, yeah.
I'll add it to. It's part of my Cheesymanfredo Devilman series.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Alright.
God.
Thanks for
Oh well, there you go. The end of the world.
The devils are coming up.
Cheesy's house is being broken into. He's about to get knifed in the back.
Oh no!
Thanks
I'm
for
getting
listening,
fucking
everybody.
meaty.
Imagine the violet.
Goodbye.
Like,
Thank you
Bye.
guys.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Check our Twitters, whatever.
Yeah, check
Look
everyone's
at the
Twitters. It'll be
description
on
and
screen.
shit.
Link in the description. All right. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.